So in this week's news, we're going to cover the 10 most important news articles that I've identified that you may have missed. So these are all to do with AI. So the first article is the release of Kling. Kling is a Chinese AI video model that's similar to Sora. So what this model is all about is generating real life images from text. So it's all in Chinese, and it's been considered one of the best yet that can challenge OpenAI's Sora. OpenAI Sora is not yet fully available. So this is the closest to something that can challenge Sora. Now, Kling is open, but you need to have a Chinese phone number to be able to gain access to it. And some of the features of Kling are that you can generate high quality videos at 1080p, and it generates videos at 30 frames per second. Now, all of their videos tend to be generally realistic. They're simulations anyway, but the movements are a lot improved. So if we have a look on their website, so what's playing on the screen now is pretty impressive, to be honest. It's fish floating in water. You can see that you can see some artifacts to suggest that it's AI driven, but if you squint it enough, it looks really realistic. It's very impressive compared to what else is on the market, and they're very good videos. You can see a panda playing the guitar, and the panda's moving, and the longest video you can get is 2 minutes, but everything on here is just a few seconds, which I think is sufficient to tell the story. But the quality of the images, like this one with the bird, it's the parrot, it's very impressive. You've got a rabbit reading a newspaper with a coffee on the table. It's really good. So yeah, that's Kling. So this is doing the round. You've got this child eating a burger. That's everything you see on here has been generated by this Kling functionality. Then you've also got this feature where you upload an image, and then you provide it a template, and Kling is able to get the image to do exactly what that template is doing, so perform similar actions. So if you have a look on the screen, you can see the lady in the main screen is the image that's uploaded, and then you've got the character doing certain dance moves, and on the right hand side that's supposed to be recreating those dance moves as well. So yeah, that's pretty impressive. The next news article is from Apple. So Apple has their worldwide developer conference this week, and they've done they're usually creative. They've come up with their own artificial intelligence branding. They've called it Apple Intelligence, yes, and it's taking place this week. One of the main things that people expect from the conference is an announcement that Apple is going to partner with OpenAI, and OpenAI would provide the AI functionality within some of their applications or some of their hardware. So that's something that's exciting, because it all depends on how the integration happens. But people have generally said that Siri isn't really that great, and ChatGPT will be a lot better. There's also the announcement that Apple would release a password manager. So this looks like it's going to be big if you're in the Apple ecosystem. Big because if you use tools like LastPass and stuff like that, then switching to Apple Password Manager might be more convenient, because right now with tools like LastPass you have to pay or subscribe in order to get LastPass on your mobile device, but this negates that. Having said that, there'll be functionality I suspect that you would still need LastPass for. So for instance, sharing passwords with other people that aren't on the Apple ecosystem, but it's still yet to be seen. And we also have an announcement of collaborations with TrueFit. TrueFit is a player in the realm of size, and their AI is generally there to help reduce the number of returns that retail companies experience. And the way they do that is they personalize the shopping experience so that the size of the person doing the purchase is tied closely to the item of clothing they're purchasing. So the idea is that people would return less if the clothes fit them a lot better from the beginning. So the AI there is essentially to make sure that they're almost able to virtually try on the clothes before they place their order. So some retail organizations are partnering with TrueFit. The next news article that's worth discussing is the risk that banks have highlighted. So they're essentially saying that yes, they have machine learning and some artificial intelligence currently within their businesses, but for future machine learning problems, in order to solve those problems, they need access to GPUs, but those GPUs have been ring-fenced by the big players in the AI space. So they are then having to rely on those big players in order to solve their future problems. Now, if they have to rely on a small crop of top AI players, they feel that they wouldn't have the flexibility to move between AI organizations. They have vendor lock-in, and that doesn't present them with the freedom that they desire. And a problem with one may lead to a problem across the board for all of the banks. So they see a risk there, and I believe the European Securities and Markets Authority is looking into it and has issued guidance for companies using AI when providing investment services to retail clients. So that's something that is brewing, and hopefully a resolution will come up. It's something they've highlighted as a risk. Now, the CEO of Zoom believes that in the future you would have essentially avatars of yourself attending meetings. So he reckons that meetings of the future will be held between avatars of the individuals, not the individuals themselves. Then they would have the meeting, and when the meeting is concluded, the summary of the meeting will then be presented to you, who's the actual person who should have been in the meeting. So it'll be meetings between avatars, and essentially right now there's a lot of talk of digital twins, and digital twins are a replacement or an alternative to yourself, or a copy of yourself. So it remains to be seen. It is an interesting concept. If your digital twin can attend your meetings and do all sorts of things on your behalf, then that frees you to do other things. Which other things you'll be doing? I mean, there's a lot that humans can do instead of sitting in meetings. At some point, that information has to be fed back to you, though, the subject of the meeting. And I wonder who's responsible for the decisions that your digital twin takes. But that's an interesting concept, and he's probably developing Zoom with that in mind. So it remains to be seen how that pans out. Now, this one is an investment article. Essentially, there's a lot of focus on AI agents, and AI agents are really built for productivity and to help you complete tasks without you getting involved. So they make the decisions autonomously, and they go off and run different business functions. And right now, the hot ticket seems to be any startup that's focusing on building AI agents gets a lot of money from venture capitalists. So it seems that a lot of the investors are seeing that that's where the value is likely to be within the AI space. So if you're involved in developing AI agents, or you come up with concepts, then this is something that is front of mind for venture capitalists. Now, here's the first of a couple of news articles from Meta. And these articles are really focusing on the changes that Meta is making on WhatsApp. So the first one is that the Meta is releasing a tool that would leverage the behavior of their users from across Facebook and Instagram, and they can use this to deliver messages to their customers who are most likely to engage. And the idea is to help you target ads at the right customers based on their use of other platforms. So they're leveraging their size and their reach across multiple platforms. So that sounds quite interesting. In terms of privacy, they already have the data and customers are already targeted right now. So I don't see much of an issue here, but it's just a way of providing some additional functionality to businesses and helping businesses advertise and target customers easier. And I think this is quite an interesting and innovative development, especially where you've got the likes of Apple blocking some of the advertising techniques that Meta has been employing over the last few years. So this is probably a way to help them recapture some of the market share they may have lost as a result. So yes, they're going to use AI, and it's essentially they're creating AI chatbots on WhatsApp, and they're using those chatbots to target their users on behalf of businesses. Okay, so a couple of big retailers based in America, Walmart and Amazon, they compete with each other for market share, and they're competing even in the AI space in different ways. This article is looking at how Amazon's deploying AI to reduce returns as well, and what their AI is doing is it is using generative AI and vision to look at packages before they are sent out of their warehouses, and it's searching for defects in the product or any breakages. And the idea is that it prevents anything that's damaged from leaving the warehouse. And if they're able to do it at that point, then it's unlikely that when it gets to the recipient, that the recipient would do a return. So that's very good use of technology. From Walmart's side of things, they are doing this. They are deploying AI for negotiations with their suppliers. So they provide the requirements that they have to their AI system, and then they release the AI to go off and negotiate with their suppliers, which is quite interesting. I've covered this before in one of my videos on YouTube, and essentially they claim that both supplier and Walmart like this solution because it's clear what the parameters of the negotiation, there's no emotion in it, and everybody gets some sort of closure from the beginning. So it saves both parties time. And Walmart says it saved them quite a lot of money when they deploy this solution. So this bit I've just mentioned wasn't part of this article. That's what I've seen previously, but this is something that they are working on, and the idea is to drive costs down. So the next WhatsApp news is that Meta is about to enable businesses to use AI to answer questions commonly asked by shoppers to create ads that would run on Meta-owned platforms, so all of their platforms, and follow up with customers. So this sounds to me like Meta is pushing into the realm of your typical chatbots, where the service that's being sold to businesses is you can have a chatbot that responds to your queries 24/7, and it can answer your questions, it can do your FAQs on your behalf, and is always on. So it seems Meta's moving into that space with this announcement. So it's quite good for businesses. It remains to be seen how it's deployed. If it's free, then it's wonderful. If businesses have to pay for it, or if it's part of their current subscription, I think it'll be useful for businesses, especially for the smaller ones that can't afford to have somebody responding to their customers 24/7. But it's great advancement. So the final news article that I'm covering in this session is that during the week, ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity all went down at the same time. So these three names I mentioned are all chatbots. And if you're familiar with ChatGPT, just consider Claude and Perplexity competition. So they all went down at the same time. It remains to be understood why all three went down at the same time, but the suspicion was that ChatGPT went down first. So ChatGPT had some downtime during the week, and because ChatGPT was down, people moved over to using Claude and Perplexity, and the volume and traffic at that time caused the other two to drop as well. So that's what the suspicion is. But of course, it made a lot of people upset on Twitter because a lot of people now rely on ChatGPT, and if they can't get ChatGPT and move to Claude and that's down as well, then that's a big inconvenience. There are others. I mean, there's always Gemini as well. I think Gemini had a problem, it seems, as well, but they should. I'd imagine they're all on different cloud networks. It's unclear why they would all have gone down at the same time. So that's it for this week. Thank you for spending the time to go through the news. You're up to date on the most critical news articles this week. There's always more, but these are the 10 that I believe you ought to know. So until next time, keep winning.